About a year and a half ago, I acquired a GT3 wing for my 911, and after I got it painted, I installed it, but while I was installing it, I over-tightened one of the screws and it stripped. Because I was excited, I drove around with it just like that for about a year or so, but a couple months back, I decided to take it off and work on it and put back the original hood. I bored the hole so that I can use a bolt instead of a screw this time, and on the back side of the wing I had to cut out an opening so that I could fit a washer and a nut so I could secure it, and now my car has the wing back on and it's secured properly. I decided to upgrade a few things on my car for Car Week this year, which is in August. So I wanted to focus on upgrading the rear bumper, side skirts, and front bumper. And so the next slides will show you some of my plans and some of the new parts that I got and the progress I'm making. Actually brought it to a friend of mine, Victor, at Autohaus Empire. Me and Victor go way back 15, 16 years ago. So I'm glad that he's able to help me out and paint some of my car parts. I dropped off just the rear bumper and I will be coming back with the rest of the car parts. A little update on my MX-6. I did some maintenance on the car. Recently it was throwing a code for a vacuum leak. So I checked around and I noticed on the PCV valve that there was a small leak. The previous owner over-tightened the worm clamp and I noticed that it broke through the hose and started to leak. So I replaced that hose, and then I also changed the oil, the filter, and the oil pan gasket. The oil filter was a little bit tricky because under the intake manifold there was just a small opening to reach down and take out the oil filter, and it was a little bit tough because there's some vacuum lines there that I had to detach to get there. And when I finally got to the oil filter, I didn't have enough leverage to loosen it, so I used one of my oil filter tools to clamp it, but because of the star being a little bit open, I had to use a rubber band to compress it a little bit because the oil filter was smaller. So once I got it in there, I just kind of pressed on it just so that it can grab it enough to where I can put my socket extension and loosen it with my ratchet. So once I got that loose, I was able to continue with the changing of the oil and filter. And when I got to the bottom, I noticed that the leak was going on for quite some time because there was a lot of buildup. So I pulled it out, and then I used the engine degreaser to kind of clean everything up, and then I applied a little bit of RTV so the gasket can stick. That way when I reinstall the oil pan, the gasket doesn't shift and it will secure properly. If you haven't noticed earlier, in the back there was a new model car to add to my collection. So I got a new one. I actually stumbled across this because I was checking out the toy section and nothing was appealing to me. And while I was leaving, I stumbled across a model car that was flipped backwards. So out of curiosity, I kind of just turned it around and I found this. So if you're not familiar with this, this is actually Han's car in Tokyo Drift. And it's the wide-body RX-7 FD. And after that movie, there was a lot of people that tried to do their own version of this car. And so I was excited that I stumbled across this by accident, and now it's part of my collection.